Episode number 397.
Things like traditional doctors, whether it's dog or pet, their jobs are to kind of block symptoms or do surgeries, or it's not their job to create health and wellness, reverse disease.
Right.
That's what the functional medicine, holistic side sometimes can kind of be about.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, you know your boy is always fired up, ready to bring you some fuego in your days, nights, weekends, or whenever you're listening to the show today. But after this show, I think you're going to want to think about finding your peace, at the end of the day, the soul is a powerful thing, and it's truly incredible. But we're also going to be talking about the souls that we love so much in our dogs, in our pets, in our animals, and in ourselves, restoring our wellness. We've all gone through a lot the last couple of years, and I think it's more important than ever to keep that at focus, no matter where you're at in life. If you're building huge businesses, if you're getting caught up in the rat race, or if you're sometimes like my situation, hey, I'm a dad. I got 2 kids to manage. I got, life to handle, businesses to run. And at the end of the day, wellness, if we don't keep that as a priority in our lives, we're out of here, and it's very, very important one way or another. Mental wellness, physical wellness, exercise, so many different things. And we can talk about that because I'm really fascinated about this, even the stuff that you feed yourself, feed your pets, the dogs and animal foods. But we are the same thing. We're just driving around, you go see the lines at the fast food every time. They're busy every single way you go. I drive and drop on packages off at my eBay and whatnot, packages off at the mail. McDonald's for breakfast is always busy. And the thing is, you can make eggs on your own, and it's really simple. It's healthier probably to do it that way, or whatever substitute you have. But we obviously caught in a convenience world. So easy to just run through the drive-through, make it part of your life, make it part of your entertainment excuse. But you're also blowing money, $10 a pop here and there. I always say that you're entertaining yourself, but you're basically going broke. Or not able to invest some of that money because an egg doesn't cost very much money. A piece of bread doesn't cost very much money. Slap those two together, it's 25 cents. It's not $5. Put a coffee in or whatever, it's $7-10. And so people forget, not only are you wellness of your body, but you also have your financial wellness. If you aren't financially well, you aren't going to be able to think about anything else. And a lot of times that's a place that a lot of us have gone through in our struggles. So take me back, Dr. Stephanie, into your history. Were you always fascinated by this? Were you always fascinated by like human wellness?
Well, it kind of became fascinated when I became affected by it. Not so great health. So yeah, that's when my fascination mostly started. I really started looking into what does it actually mean and how do you stay healthy? And I had a black mold exposure myself. Wow. I was an athlete prior to that. I rode horses professionally for over 25 years, and I'd never really been sick with anything. And so suddenly, I had all these histamine issues, and I was a dean of schools back then. And so I was trying to run meetings, but I didn't have enough air. Take my dog on a walk around the block. And then I go to the doctor and they're like, your blood work is great. You're healthy and fine. And I'm like, this is not fine.
Wow. So how did you uncover that you had something else that they obviously couldn't find in the blood work, or how did you discover this?
Yeah. So after they started looking at me like I was crazy,
right.
Because all of the traditional things that they could do for me didn't really show anything. I started reading, online and doing research, and it kind of led me into functional medicine. And that's, I started reading some of the big people in functional medicine and inflammation and autoimmune diseases. And I'm like, wait a minute. And so I found a functional medicine doctor, and she was kind of a converted doctor. She was an anesthesiologist for kids. So she was really great with knowing the tests that I needed, but not really so much with the functional medicine side. And so it was enough. It was enough to get me healing my gut down the right path. And to be honest, I just said, throw every test you have at me because something's clearly wrong. I've never had this problem. You don't just develop almost like asthma for no reason, in your 30s.
Right. When you've been healthy and you've had no issues of this prior.
Yeah. Yeah. After living in a horse barn for years and dust and, what I mean? Like, you don't just, I was hoping you didn't just self-implode, but that's what it felt like. And so there's like a whole emotional side of it too, I was driving and I'd have all these reactions and I'm like, man, am I going to get in a car accident? So it was rough. And so that led me into functional medicine. And then I said, gosh, after I fixed myself, restored my health, I was like, maybe I should do this for other people. And so I did. Yeah.
Where was the starting place? Where did you start? Where was it? Cutting certain things out of your diet? Was it adding supplementations? Where did you start with that?
Black mold can bring on something called leaky gut. And so, when that happens, you get food sensitivities and then those go right into your bloodstream and they, do this cascade of inflammation all over your body. And that's why I was so stuffed up. And I almost had like allergy symptoms everywhere, but it's really inflammation.
Got you.
And that's truly what we see in our pets as well.
Got you.
A lot of the situations far from GMO foods and, glyphosate, which is Roundup in our water.
Wow.
So if you're not doing certain things, you're going to think that your pets have allergies. You're going to think you have allergies. And it's just this cascade of massive inflammation. So you start by healing the gut to answer your question. I started healing my gut and I started on bone broth and things like that, just until I could learn and, figure out what I needed supplement wise to take care of that. And a lot of it's amino acids and stuff. And I wasn't digesting well either, because when you've got that situation, you have digestion issues. And I realized, oh my gosh, I need to get some enzymes until I heal. And it was quite a process. Probably took me a couple of years to feel completely like myself because it took so long to figure out I don't even think I realized that it was black mold till way after I was healed. And then finally got that test, which I originally asked for and just for whatever reason didn't get. And I went, oh, that makes sense. Because we'd had it in the basement. We cut out the wall. The heating ducts it was like summer and they weren't wrapped properly, I guess. And so
they
were sweating.
Wow.
Condensation in the wall. And that's where I, downstairs putting on my makeup and everything every day. And,
wow.
Yeah.
So you didn't even know it. You were just getting exposed to it. Didn't even know it. A lot of people probably are. Our houses and where our businesses are. And obviously the last couple of years, the craziness of the viruses and things like that, that are out there that, whatever side you take on it, it's changing our world. It's changing our environments. We're all adapting to it to survive. And some, to be honest with you, have lost their lives. To be honest with you, I have family that have, unfortunately, people's parents that have lost their lives. And so you can't take it lightly. And unfortunately, it's just an unfortunate circumstance in general, but it comes back to kind of what we're talking about. If you don't have a strong body, things like that. And big things now more and more into CBD. I like the Kill Cliff, the CBD drinks and things like that. I personally enjoy it. It helps me kind of relieve some of the stress stuff too. I used to drink energy drinks. Those are obviously not great for you at all. These things are not an energy drink, but they have electrolytes and some vitamin B and stuff like that. It kind of gives me that little feeling that I used to have. And I feel less, achy, if you want to call it that, if I have these with the CBD in me. I mean, obviously there's everyone has their own point of view, but I like the CBD. I love bone broth too. I love bone broth. What other types of supplementations would you say people should focus on outside of the like a bone broth, things like that?
Yeah, there are some more natural things that you can do, but as a practitioner, we typically would give a pharmaceutical grade supplement to heal the gut lining.
Gotcha.
But things like, like marshmallow, it's not actual marshmallow, it's the root. Things like that. And then, slippery elm, things that will heal your gut lining and create that mucilagenic kind of covering so that it can heal. All those things are really great for that. Licorice root is really good.
Oh yeah.
You do have to watch that. Sometimes that can raise blood pressure if you don't have it deglycerized.
Oh, interesting.
So, it's again, very client based, functional medicine is really meeting people where they're at and getting their entire history. I mean, we spent an hour and a half on our first call from the point that you were born. Were you a C-section or were you delivered in a traditional way? And, so it's just, there's a lot to it. And it's because you're looking at all the body systems. Typically, when you go to a medical doctor, they're looking at one direction or another. They're specialized. We cover the entire body system because we believe, your arm's connected here. And, so this one. So if you do something here, it could affect here.
Right.
So we're looking at the whole body. So that's really the big difference. There's a lot of differences, but that's a big, we do find the root cause. We work with you to find the root cause of your disease, remove it. If you remove the root cause, same thing with the dogs, cats, then the body can heal.
Got you. So then take me into your, the hard working of your book. And obviously, more and more of us have pets and talking about the pet food and basically what's in it. And that a lot of it, there's this stuff they're not telling you about. So take us and talk to about that. I love that.
Gosh, that was a lot. It's like, what direction do you want me to go? Okay. So the book came about because my dog at 11 years old suddenly was very, very sick, throwing up, and he had never been sick before. And we had done one of those Embark genetic tests that you can do online. And he had like all this perfect genetics. There were no, predispositions for that. And suddenly he was sick and throwing up. And of course it was 2 a.m. So we took him in and they actually weren't going to do a scan, but I pushed a scan and they found, nodules on his liver, a spleen issue, I think a nodule on like a lymph gland or something like that. And we ended up going through biopsies, and I went to a specialty clinic and a top university, and they all said the same thing. They said he had 3.5 months with or without surgery.
Oh, wow.
But if I didn't do the surgery, I would absolutely kill him.
Wow.
I must do it and must do it now. And I did keep it on the books for a year because I was so traumatized trying to fix him.
Oh my God.
I was worried. And when you're trying to get in for something like that, you can't just schedule it. Well, I guess you can if it's an emergency, but so anyways, long story short, I met with, top homeopathy vets and Chinese medicine and holistic. And, I said, I'm going to give myself a week and try to figure out if there's anything else I can do.
Right.
Because he wasn't a chill dog. He's very, basically when you take him in there, he's very traumatized. He had all these things with like thunderstorms and he was all of these frantic things that would kind of make us. I'm like, man, if I just take him in there, he's not chill, Right. I just didn't think it would last and it was not the best choice for him. And so I went on that mission, like 24-hour stints of no sleep and research and
wow,
finding everything I could. And so I chose diet after I figured it out.
Got you.
Was literally able to reverse everything.
Wow.
After, it didn't take him.
It didn't take one day. Wasn't one day.
Take one day.
Yeah.
It didn't take one day. And the bottom line is, I knew how well I had taken care of him. I knew that he had always had filtered water. I knew that he had always had the top line organic
like
dog
food and stuff. Right.
Even though it was commercialized dog food, but it was, I didn't over vaccinate. I did titers instead. So he stopped really getting vaccinations at 3 because he was immune for the rest of his life.
Yes.
So I was like, man, how do I end up at 11 in the situation that I'm in? It just, it didn't make sense. The answer I got, 3.5 months with or without surgery. I was like, so why would I do it? Why would I put him through the pain, the torture, the agony?
Absolutely.
So just none of it made sense. I'm a real common sense kind of gal. And I found the answers, thank God, because I know I only had one chance. I know if I had gotten it wrong, I only had that one shot just because of how sick he was. It actually made me how toxic he was.
So what changes did you make?
Well, I threw out all my supplements, which were a long line. Right. When we're trying to fix allergies or inflammation, try this.
Right.
I'm talking a box.
Wow. Yeah. So we just threw out all the stuff that we tried to fix things with. Okay. Gone.
Threw it out. Threw out
the food. I'm guessing throughout the food, maybe next.
I did, and of course they tell you vary the variety. I had duck, I had chicken, I had do that all. And I had the top brands, tossed them in the garbage. And I started creating a species appropriate diet at home, which I suggest for my clients because I do consultations with my clients. I became raw dog food nutrition specialist certified through it all and through the book and all the research I did for that. And I just took care of him in that manner and just watched him literally heal. Wow. So for any skeptics or people who are nervous, or when they walk into a clinic and they're like, well, you simply can't do that. Your dog's been domesticated. What does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean? There's
it's just biology. Like convenicated or something. Like it's just basically it's convenience to our own nature that we can just pick up our dog food, and it's probably more complicated or difficult to feed him this way, I'm guessing.
No.
Not. See, there you go, even folks. Guess what? It's not. So what are some of the basis of his food? Like what are some of the basis of the food that he eats?
I mainly eat all of his food. And
so it's all the same stuff.
Yeah, so we share everything because he loves to share. And
there you go. That's cool.
There's, a list in my book. I provide a list of items that you can give your pet. And I tell you to let your pet choose what are their favorites.
Whatever they like. Just let them try.
Yeah. And I'm not fairly picky. So I just, if I'm making sweet potatoes for him, well, I have some, I'm making him peas and carrots or a little quinoa on the side. I'm working all the time. So it's just easier for me to make stuff. And you can prepare it, like say Sunday, you can prepare it.
Right. Just like a meal prep. Week. Right. Absolutely. Me and my wife do the salads. Yeah. 100%. It's like, it makes so much sense. Cost you $5 for spinach. You got 8 salads, 4 each, 4 for her days, 4 for mine. It's a convenient way of living. It cuts calories out, but let's just be real. The things you do like that not only are great things for you, but it's simple, convenient. It creates no excuses. You got the salad right there. Throw the dressing on it. And the same thing with the food. You can do it on a Sunday, have it all prepared. And for us in general, meal prepping is how I truly changed my life. I was in a different situation after 2000, the economy crash, business, bought a house at the wrong time, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at myself in the mirror and there was many things I had to change, but food was one of them. Is because, hey, you can just go eat Subway. Yeah, it's convenient. You can go eat Jamba Juice or wherever, these healthy places, salad bars or whatever, but you can just also make your own salad and then take that money, put it back into your business, your ideas, stocks, investing, crypto, blah, 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 wherever you want to put it. And you get to live a more rich life because of a simple decision in your life to make a change. Hey, instead of Subway, I'll make my own sandwich. And then you know what? When you get to go out and you enjoy Subway, it's very special. Just like when, if you're used to eating out every day, it ain't special to you to eat out because that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's the same thing. Obviously in this situation, we're talking about obviously for your health. So that's even bigger. But a lot of times people don't think about the health until it's a critical situation, unfortunately, until it's too late, until it's, a situation where it's hard to reverse. Even though it is incredible what diet can do. I drink the apple cider vinegar with like the new one has a little honey and it has a little cayenne pepper in there, and mix that with some water, a lemon. And that has helped me just get my body to the alkaline levels. I feel like, I just feel a little different with that. And then this new addition in the Bragg's has the new addition of a little bit of cayenne pepper and honey in there. It's just probably helpful for, fighting these, diseases, the colds, the flus and things we get. And it gives you a little bit of more energy with that cayenne pepper because let's just be real, spices it up a little bit for you. But I always love just simple things like that. That's just a water, a lemon. And if you have that routine of doing that for 10, 15, 20 years, I feel like you're going to be stronger than someone that just picks it up one day and says, I'm going to try it. And then, then it's like a fad. It just comes and goes. They never buy it again, or they never use it, And so that's the big thing too, Stephanie, right? Is like keeping consistent, just like my podcast, just like anything in life. When you give someone a change, when you give them the blueprint to change, it's that now they have to be accountable to this and make the change, and it's that's the hard part, right?
It is. And that's why people are hiring coaches for just about everything today.
Right.
right? It's a whole accountability situation. And even if you just drank one extra glass of water first thing in the morning, you're going to see clarity of skin and less puffiness. I mean, just from drinking extra water. So it ain't have to mix it with anything. Don't have to incur extra costs if you don't want to put something in it. It's, I really go back to the common sense, initiatives. And we're kind of live in a society where if someone's got a white coat, we just go, well, that's 8 years of education I don't have.
Right.
And whether I'm advocating for my clients in functional medicine or I'm talking to people about walking in the door, and if their vet's smiling and engaging and they immediately think, oh, they love my dog. No, they're running a good business. They want you back.
Yeah.
Right. That's really not what it's about. And, things like traditional doctors, whether it's dog or pet, their jobs are to kind of block symptoms or do surgeries, or it's not their job to create health and wellness, reverse disease.
Right.
That's what the functional medicine, holistic side sometimes can kind of be about. And we kind of sometimes go to the wrong people for the wrong thing. Then we see the white coat, then we just go, okay. And then someone says, well, your dog's domesticated. And it's like, well, that just means they don't have to go outside or hunt for their food and sleep. You know what I mean?
Right.
It means I got my little doggy bed here, but that has nothing to do with biology. And our dogs, then people are shocked when I say this, are 99% biologically identical to wolves.
Wow.
So when you really realize
it makes total sense.
People are thinking domestication has to do with biology. It's a total separate issue. It just means that your dog isn't forced to go sleep outside tonight.
Right. Or hunt for his food, or hunt for their food and survive.
Look it up in the dictionary. In fact, it doesn't have anything to do, but we just think, okay. And we've domesticated them. So they couldn't by chance eat that raw, liver or heart or kidney. But
interesting.
When we know they're 99% biologically identical to wolves, we ask ourselves this question: do we see wolves stopping to microwave? No.
Nope.
Do we see them stopping to take heartworm medications and flea control? And do we dump gobs of supplements down our wolves in the world? And, are they eating just meat, or how many days are they going? Do they fast? I mean, I fast him a day after he has his raw meat days.
Got you. So he has a little time to process that.
Because it takes so much longer than fruit or vegetables.
Right. Right.
So when you go mixing them, dogs have a one-chambered stomach. These foods that mix everything, not biologically appropriate for a dog.
Got you. So there is a strategy to it all too. So I love this. This is it's fascinating because it's also so applicable to our own lives, and also obviously our the ones that we love most, our pets. A lot of us really do love our pets, and obviously they're the beacon of the family, and they're all, obviously pets are only here for a short time too. So we want to cherish them and give them the best lives too. So I love this approach. I think it's so important. And I'm going to give everyone a chance to go put you in the show notes where they can get your book. They can get everything on your link tree, I believe. But now we're going to get into your mind with our top 10. Are you ready?
Oh no. What's this?
What? Let's go.
I'm ready.
You have to listen to the show. Are you ready? Let's go.
I'm ready.
All right. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
Instagram or Facebook?
God, can't pick neither. Facebook.
Neither. There we go. Chicken or steak if you're thinking about a good meal, or vegetables?
Yeah, good. Steak.
There you go. Laptop or smartphone? Smartphone. Spotify or Pandora?
Gosh, I don't do either, but back in the day, I guess Pandora,
the OG platform. That was the best. So he's like, put on the kind of music I like, and it would just play.
Yeah.
They've gotten really good, these algorithms now on these platforms. Movies or video games?
Gosh, I like both, but only if they're the old school. So I have
the old school. There you go. What video game platform did you grow up on?
Oh gosh, I had everything from Atari to James Bond. What was that? Sony PlayStation.
Oh,
I kind of ended about there. Mario Brothers, Sony PlayStation.
That was the best. Sony. Me and my wife picked up. We picked up a what was it, like a old school game, Sega. Oh, it was Nintendo 64. That was the one. Nintendo 64. Remember the Nintendo 64?
That too. Yeah.
And we just picked up a Mario Kart because for the hell of it, we were just racing here and there. We don't get to do it a lot as much, but it is so much fun. It is so much fun. And those are the simple ones because now the games are so technical and difficult and so intricate and blah, blah, blah. And you can spend your whole lives on these things. So when you are thinking about books, reading books or listening to books?
I guess reading.
Getting the physical book. I like it. Diversifying the portfolio, stocks or real estate?
Real estate.
Real estate. There you go. And if you're thinking about vacation, oceans or a lake?
Lake.
There we go. What lake would you go to right now if you could go on a lake?
Gosh, I've been looking kind of Montana, Colorado. I've been watching Yellowstone.
Nice. Yeah.
Just
beautiful area.
In that area. But boy, the warm springs, I've seen some amazing. There's like snow everywhere in the warm springs. Like, wow. I'm going there.
For real. Yeah, they have that, like, I think in other parts of the country too, where it's like snowing and then like you're just chilling in these warm springs, really like a surreal experience, like a huge spa basically, because it's being warmed by basically natural geysers and things like that. Super cool. Fascinating. There's a lot of cool stuff on Google if you type that in, folks. Very cool. Like I forgot where it was. One of my buddies went there. I was like, man, that is so cool. When you're waking up for your day, you're getting yourself ready, pumped, energized for your day. Why do you love being you?
Why do I love being me? Gosh, because I get to reverse pain and disease in people. I mean, that's
see that awesome. Change. You get to see that change physically.
Yeah, we all end up in the same place eventually, right? So living isn't really living unless you can be healthy and well. And I always say, if you want to, because I'm from the Midwest, right? Went to a lot of Michigan football games. So if you can walk up to the top of the Michigan stadium, then you're living life. But if you're in a wheelchair and you're sick and how can you really, really enjoy, that experience?
That's when you're wanting to life to end, unfortunately. And so we never really want that, but we let it happen to us. And it's these decisions we make each day. I remember reading some articles about an ancient Chinese giant. He was like a giant man. He lived supposedly hundreds of years. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but this dude, I'll have to send you the links. This dude basically like would search his whole days and nights. He was like a Buddhist monk, I think. And he would search his days and nights, searching for different functional medicine, herbs and vegetables to basically keep him alive. And he found the reishi mushroom, gotu kola, and some of these foundational Chinese herbs that, I even personally take because I'm a taller dude and I want to stay around for longer. I'm 6'8". This guy was like 10 feet tall, supposedly had lived 200 years, had like 4 different generations, like multiple hundreds of like kids and grandkids. And it's in their heritage. But it basically was like early, like, before there was printing presses and things like that. So you never know. I do believe in some of that stuff, obviously, because, there's incredible things that if you believe in the universe, God, wherever you believe in, put on this universe for us. And so that, we got to find. And, thank you to great people like yourself that are helping educate your customers, helping, basically get people more fit and healthy. Do you think you'll ever retire from the game of functional medicine coaching and helping customers?
Probably not.
It can be hard for you.
It would be hard because you know what? I deal with a lot of families and friends of families and things. And how am I supposed to just go, well,
give up on your family?
Type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. And somebody who really wants to reverse and change that. Yeah. No.
Screw you. Bye-bye. Yeah, no, right. It's the kids too. It's like, I know too, because I remember what I put in my body and I was obese at a young age. And I had to over time with small cuts and basically work myself to now I'm 40. I would be completely different if I was 40. Had I made those same decisions when I was 14, 15 years old. I mean, if I didn't make a change at some point, I was about 18, 19, getting into the exercise routine, getting to learn basically soda and French fries and that stuff needs to get cut out of the diet. and then I'm not perfect. No one's perfect at the end of the day, but I will say I would be completely different if I didn't make those changes. I might not be here to be doing these interviews, And so I always think about that all the time because I was 300 pounds as a young kid, let alone, a grown adult now with kids and things like that. Can you just imagine? And so, yeah, I feel for the kids because they've let it happen to them. And a lot of it is in the parents' responsibility too, and it's very hard. It's a tricky slope because, like you said, if the whole family is weird, mom's buying me Doritos all day and shoving these. How am I going to eat healthy, Dad? How am I going to eat healthy if mom's just buying me donuts and Doritos all day? It's a parent's dynamic that they have to kind of all work together to make that change, and I think that's the way it works best. And most importantly, like we talked about, it's that you got to be consistent, though. You can eat broccoli and chicken today. But are you going to eat it tomorrow? Are you going to eat it the next day? Are you going to eat it a year from now? And some of this stuff isn't easy, and we will gravitate back to our old behaviors if we don't have a coach, if we don't have accountability too. So that's amazing. You work with families. I love that. Do you have a routine on how you start your day?
Oh, that's a great question. Usually it starts with feeding my dog.
There you go. What's his favorite breakfast? What's his favorite breakfast food? Some eggs? Gosh. Does he eat eggs?
It's usually somewhere between beets and sweet potatoes.
Beets and sweet potatoes. Got you. I got you. Okay. Well, eggs are not in his diet, or is that not part of the?
If I don't give them to him because he had some fatty tumors, and there's a lot of research back and forth. If I was going to give it, I'd give them raw on a raw meat day.
Got you. A raw egg. Wow. Interesting.
So it just depends, but I have not for him. I don't feel like he's missing it because I do such a great job with the internal organs. I just don't feel like he gets the vitamin D and other things. Yeah.
It's not necessary for his diet.
Not necessary.
Because because a lot of us at the end of the day, we don't even know what's going on with our bodies, and we just kind of count, like you said. Who knows? We just, hey, we're up. We're here we go. Shovel some coffee in my throat. And I always see the Starbucks lines like, God, you guys are shoveling so much sugar in your mouths right now. When I see that Starbucks, I basically think of that place as like a sugar factory. There's hardly anything there that doesn't have sugar. And I would say nothing against them as a company, but they got to be a piece to the reason why our country's obese. Because you're drinking your caffeine, you're like, hi, this is how I get to work every day, but you're sucking down 50 grams of sugar, before you've even started your day, and then they want you to come back at 3:00 for the re-up, and so, I mean, there's something to that, let alone the time that you spend in line.
Yeah, sugar is definitely addicting, and there's like proven research that it's like
the crack. It's like heroin. It's like
pretty much.
It lights you up it lights those dopamine sensors up like it's you see it with your kids. I see it with living through my kids. It's like, wow, you can really see how it affects you. When my daughter's had too much sugar, she's walking around like like a zombie. And you're like, oh my God, girl, please, Lord, we hide all the sugar. We're hiding it all from this girl. She just had her birthday party. So we give in here and there. We can't be completely perfect, especially for the kids. We try to let them have a little fun. Do you have a skill you're trying to master right now? Something you're trying to get better at?
You know what? I've spent so much time mastering all this functional medicine and the dog, information and all. I'm at a point right at the moment where I just want to do.
Right. You're just ready to practice, keep working, keep grinding, keep learning, keep growing. And I'm sure you grow by every new customer, every new situation, every new thing is different. Yeah, some things are obviously the same, but many things are different, and you get to challenge. You're challenging yourself by learning through every single new customer, every single new testimonial, and then the success, the reward of them, getting through that, seeing difference, making a change, having an incredible life, or let's just be real, staying alive. We all want that. No one at this point is getting out of life. There's companies like Calico, and there's companies that are life extension based companies owned by Google and, Jeff Bezos and things like that, own companies that try to extend life. But till this date, we do have my daughter's stem cells bank. I don't know if you're familiar with stem cells, but we do have some of her stem cells bank. You never know what they could do with that, but it's going to be so important to what you put in yourselves every day that I think is going to fuel you. And I think obviously a lot of us need experts to help us that, especially if there's something going on, especially if there's something wrong. We feel like there's something not right. And we're not getting our answers like you were from your traditional white quote, method. So important to just get different opinions. I always think that from the beginning. Hey, when I get a quote on something, a quote on my backyard, get 3 quotes. I had one guy come up with he pulled out this dude. This is a real story. This gentleman from my backyard asked me to pull a piece of cardboard out of the trash can, pulled out a pen, wrote down a quote for $8,000 and asked for the $8,000 right then. Have you ever heard of something like that? You get a quote from that guy. That's weird. You get a quote from another person. They come in with the contract. They show you, hey, this is what it is. You pay a little bit here. We can't charge you everything up front because that's not ethical by California state law. You pay as you go. That makes more sense. Or you get a third quote. That person says this, this, and that, and it's a little bit better price. Or they work with you. Hey, they do a trade with you. You choose the third option. That's the biggest point. And I think we forget that with many things. You just get one opinion. Okay, all right, we're done. And instead of taking a second or third opinion to just see what other people think. And I think it's so important, just like religion, just like anything, just have that open mind. It's not just one or all. It's not just one method. We're all in this together, and there's so many different answers and solutions. But I think it's so important that if there's something going on with you right now, if you're feeling something that needs to be a little changing, like we talked about, you're not getting the answers. This is the great option, especially in your pets too, because these are things that maybe are easy to change. They're not that hard to change. It's
much easier to heal a pet, to be honest, by just simply changing diet, right? Because it's toxicity, all this inflammation, toxicity, and things. It's all about, do you have the ability to still heal? And if you keep becoming more and more and more toxic, more and more drugs, more and more Band-Aid approaches, you get to a point where the vitality in your body just isn't going to be there any longer. Right. And that's when you just don't have it. But so, a little intervention, a little removal of a few things so the body will heal. We kind of are like a car, right? You take your car in the shop, and if you don't get your oil changed, you're eventually, all the viscosity, right, is going to be gone.
Right.
And so it's the same thing with us. If we don't have the proper nutrients, and a big number one start is stop eating processed food.
Stop eating processed food.
It's not actually food.
Don't eat that shit as much as possible. They stay on the edges of the grocery store. It's one of those things that the edges of the grocery store are the places where most of the, natural, organic, or just things that came from God, the universe, wherever you believe in, didn't come from craft. No, nothing wrong with craft. Okay, if you want to have a little craft in your life, no, I'm not going to shoot you. I'm not going to hurt you. Hey, that's you. I understand it. I get it. But it's just not every day. Don't make that the everyday thing. Make a difference right now. And you'll see that it will be a big difference in your life. Just like when I'm going to eat a salad here shortly. And it's a spinach salad. It's not the greatest spinach salad in the world. Not the most fancy spinach salad in the world. But I love it because it's that routine. It's that consistent routine. And you tend to love it. You just tend to love it. And it makes the discipline of it. And I always feel like that is what keeps me alive, for my kiddos, for my family, for my life. And once you hit 40, folks, you'll see that is, you start to think about these things a little bit more. And those that know that, that. Is there an app or a tool in your life that has changed your life, or you just love using?
Well, I like my Roomba app.
The Roomba, there you go. I love that.
I don't have to vacuum.
I love that thing. It's the best invention on earth. As a parent, it's like you have to have that. Oh my God. So many of these little things that people, that you just don't think about. That's a choking hazard, for your kids. A lot of times you don't even think about it. And then it's so awesome just to, you use it through the app. You pull up the app and you're like, hey, so let's go clean. Or you set it to a schedule that you can set it to schedules. So many cool things you can do with it.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't think, I didn't think it'd be good or whatever. And I just thought it'd be blowing off the stairway and stuff. But truly, it saves me a lot of time in a week that I don't have to deal with stuff. And so stuff like that saved me time and energy. Like those are the apps that I'm hooked up into.
That's one of the best investments you guys can make, folks. One of the best investments, a simple investment in like a tool like that. You think it's not a big deal until you realize every day, every night, your house is spick and span, and then you start to you throw away the stuff. You're like, oh my God, like it picked up this today. Oh my God, it really does pick up quite a bit of stuff with those with the kind of mechanism it uses. So I think it only is going to get better. I'm like, hey, let's get one to wax the floors. Let's get the next one. Whatever we got to do here, let's go. Yeah. I love that company. iRobot too. If you guys want to invest, iRobot, a great company. A couple more last questions for you, my friend, before we roll. Is if you could sit down for a lovely dinner, steak dinner, because you said steak, you like steak, with anyone in the world, who would you want to chop it up with today?
Wow, kind of no one.
No one. She said, give me my own steak. Let's go.
If I could have a house on a lake all by myself all the time, and my dog and horse,
there you go.
I'd be pretty happy with that, to be honest, these days. I more want to go out when I feel like it and do my own thing.
That's cool.
So I can't think of anyone. Usually I would be able to give you someone, but at this time, no, not really.
Just chill with the dog. That's the most important one. That's the most important one at this point.
Dogs,
There we go.
Great fire in your house or something like that. Just cool stuff.
I love that. Is there a outside of your book, which we're going to plug in the show notes, and we're going to put that easily for you guys to find it in the show notes. Is there a book that you either reread or that just sticks to your soul?
There is an unusual book. And I don't happen to know the name of it, or I would tell you, but it's a small book, half that size even. And what it is it's almost like poetry, but it's really not. And it talks about like each, I guess, chapter or page talks about peace, forgiveness, just one word. But it's written very eloquently. And I'm always impressed at people who have real eloquence to their speaking, their words. So I've always, every now and then I go back to that because I never had a chance to finish it. I go back to the pieces and parts of that book, and, it describes fear or patience, and it talks about it as a person. It's a very interesting little book.
Yeah, I like the 4 Agreements too, because that's another simple book that it's simple. It really is simple, but it's very hard to live up to the 4 Agreements every day. Be impeccable with your word. Always do your best. I mean, there's just some of these, especially be impeccable with your words. Sometimes, it really has a challenge, in general, especially if you have a spouse, especially if you have a family, especially if you have stress, family, partner, businesses, things like that. The vid came through and screwed a lot of things up for a lot of people and created stress and dynamic and things like that. And you want to respect people too. I'm very much into that, wanting to listen to people and respect, because I have people that are in my own family that are all different points of view, and I all about that. And so I think it's important to kind of have these reminders. I one of my biggest ones, Stephanie, is I always request the calendars where I get a quote each day. You know what I mean? And each day it just kind of tears off a new quote. I like the ones that are the more visual kind of graphics where I can kind of share them on social media with other people too, or just in general. It kind of makes me feel like it's art, but then you get a new message each day, and it's crazy how that applies like synchronicity to your life. And a lot of times you're like, damn, that's crazy that like we pulled that off and that was like what it was. And then some days you'll forget a day and you'll pull it off. You're like, dang, that's crazy. But then some days you just pull it off and you're inspired, and that motivates you. So I always suggest as many things you can to put those little messages in your head to yourself that you're awesome, that you're amazing. And I always remind people, say, just do you, because the more that you do for yourself, the more you can do for others, the more you can do for your family, friends, etc., and the world. And if we all did that a little more, and we're a little bit more selfish into ourselves and focused on ourselves a little more, the things we put in our bodies, the meditations, the mental things you can do, the exercise, the things you can also avoid in our lives, we can be better for our other people around us. And I think about that every day in my own life, because I know I'm not my best, and I want to be, and I try to be. And it's just one of those things we all want to be at our best. But I appreciate you, my friend, for taking your challenge, flipping it on its head. You didn't know exactly what was going on when you first went into those blood tests, and you flipped it on its head. You went and found research. You went and found your solution, your answer, and it changed your life to give you a calling to help others, So Give us the favorite place for you, for people to find more about you. We are going to plug it in the link tree, but where is your other favorite place for people to kind of learn more about you and get gravitated to you as you are a certified health and wellness coach?
Yeah, anybody can find me on LinkedIn, of course. But you can also find me on wellnessandhealthnow.com.
Got you. Wellness. Oh, I'm going to put that in. Wellnessandhealthnow.com. And we're also going to put the links to the book, etc. But like I always say, the world is full of abundance, my friend. Let's continue to keep creating abundance, not only in our own lives, in our pets' lives, in our friends' lives, in our neighbors' lives. And I just appreciate someone like yourself that is physically doing this for others. It's not easy every day, I know, but I just want to continue to gravitate more abundance to your life, to your message, to your initiatives. And I want to thank you for coming on our show today, folks. You've been hanging out with Dr. Stephanie Krol and Travis Too Tall and Huff. We want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real.
What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. And also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening today. Do you want to get featured on podcasts, guys? You can be a guest. And that's right. You have a story, and the people, the good folks at I Love Podcasts. That's ILUV podcasts.com. Do that every single day. This is a new company, guys, in the space of podcast agency. And they realize a lot of the people in the space it's just a commodity, and they don't care. And these folks care. And I literally love Kenny and the team at I Love Podcasts, and they are doing it right for their customers. So you guys can be a guest on a show. ilovepodcast.com. That's ILUV podcasts.com. Let's go.